Ideas. There are ideas that change the way we work.
In other centuries, they would have called it magic.
Ideas that got us connected.
Well, hold the line a minute.
That made us communicate better with each other.
Hello?
Ideas that got smarter and smarter and smarter. They're the ones that caused revolutions.
Goodbye, David.
And others that seem like a thing of the past now. There are the ones that are obsolete and ideas that promised us freedom, but in the end delivered us nothing but stress, that we tried to compensate with funny ideas. We thought of something different. A simple idea that turns idle workspace into places where you connect with companies, where you share knowledge with other creative minds or digital nomads. Where you are is where you work. You spend fewer hours on the road and you gain precious time for a better work-life balance. It's called Work Hero. Is it a game changer?
I beg your pardon?
We like to think so, but we'll let you be the judge of that. Check out Work Hero on workhero.com. Work Hero, connecting space and knowledge.
I'm delighted, and I hope we'll be able to do it again, and also that the solutions which were showcased here can maybe inspire real-life solutions in the future.
Es un honor que hayan contado con nosotros como aceleradora, con nuestro programa Startup Europe Accelerator, en el primer hackathon con el director general de innovación de la Comisión Europea para soluciones en el campo de cambio climático y reducción de emisiones.
I also congratulate Finova, which was part of the winning team, a team which worked on a really interesting solution to make construction at long last sustainable. Well done. Thank you very much.
España y Portugal están entre los estados de la Unión Europea más vulnerables al cambio climático. En los últimos 30 años, ambos países han sido escenario de incendios forestales cada vez más devastadores. Ahora, los dos estados se disponen a hacer frente a estos retos con un nuevo proyecto de cooperación transfronteriza, impulsado por el programa Interreg de cooperación transfronteriza entre España y Portugal. FirePOCTEP, fortalecimiento de los sistemas transfronterizos de prevención y extinción de incendios forestales y mejora de los recursos para la generación de empleo rural post-COVID-19. El proyecto, presupuesto total, 5,6 millones de euros, cofinanciado 75% con fondos FEDER. Objetivos: identificar las zonas estratégicas de gestión para minimizar el riesgo e impacto de los grandes incendios a través de una gestión integral del paisaje frente al cambio climático global. Fomentar la inversión pública y privada mediante experiencias piloto en el marco de la economía verde circular y la investigación de nuevas oportunidades de mercado. Educar a la población fija y ocasional sobre el riesgo de los grandes incendios forestales, las buenas prácticas preventivas y la autoprotección. Capacitar y equipar al personal de los operativos transfronterizos. Proyecto que beneficiará a toda la raya, la frontera más larga y antigua de la Unión Europea. Integrado por 21 socios participantes entre instituciones, organismos y entidades de ambos países. Duración 30 meses. Finaliza el 31 de diciembre de 2022.
La Fundación Finnova, con el proyecto Circoax, busca empresas y autónomos innovadores para promover la economía circular en el mundo textil y de la moda. Good morning, and good morning. My name is Juan Revuelta. I'm the CEO from Fundación Finnova, and today we are going to manage this next Japan Generation EU. It's a webinar about EU-Japan opportunities for businesses, entrepreneurship, and jobs. We have had this initiative because of the strategic partner agreement signed in 2008. Japan is one of the most important partners from the European Union, the third. Not only that, we have to understand as Finnova that we have to profit the occasions for promoting innovation in both sides of from European Union to Japan. Also, there are some EU funding opportunities or ways of networking through programs as Horizon Europe, perhaps just a cooperation, because as we know, Japan is one of the big countries in terms of innovation and technology. We are quite interested in promoting, as Finnova, all what is energy, waste management, water, and circular economy. Also, you will see about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship and startups is one of the challenges of Finnova Foundation. And also about young students from Europe in Japan or Japanese students in Europe. Did you know around 20,000 students every year from Japan are in Europe, helping to close the relationship in the future. We have, and I want to thank to the different speakers, we have excellent speakers that will explain from Tokyo, from the delegation of the European Union in Japan. They will analyze the relations, and also they will explain about the agreements, the potential, the opportunities, and what's the umbrella in this new financial period, 2021-2027. Allow me to explain that we will have also the vision from the Chamber of Commerce, bilateral Chamber of Commerce, Japanese Spain, and we will have also the advice of innovation of the European Union. Of course, some of our speakers will talk from the Japanese side about the innovation hubs for startups and innovation in that field. And that's it. We will have around 2 hours, 15 minutes. We will have the excellent interpretation from Ayato Amura that will be, you know, do you have a channel for Japanese? And I want to thank Ayato and Natalia and Eduardo for all the help preparing this webinar. And that's it. And now we are going to connect with Tokyo with Silvia Cherska. She is the first secretary at the trade section of the delegation of the European Union to Japan. Silvia, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Let me just share my screen with you. Perfect. So, good morning, Brussels, Europe. Good afternoon, Tokyo. I'm talking to you from Tokyo, Japan. So it's afternoon. I am very happy to be here. Thank you, Finnova, for the opportunity to be present and to give you a couple of information about the EU-Japan Economic Partnership Agreement. As I already mentioned, I work in the trade section of the European Union delegation to Japan in Tokyo. And here I am mainly responsible for the implementation, operation of the EU-Japan Economic Partnership Agreement. I will call it sometimes EPA. So I will give you some very, very brief presentation of the main points, key aspects, key benefits of the agreement, because I have very limited time. I will give you also some information on where to find more explanations and clarifications on the agreement. But let me maybe start with something that has been already highlighted, that for the European Union, Japan is a strategic and a very important partner. Japan and European Union are like-minded partner. What does it mean? For us, it means that both the European Union and Japan support open, free, sustainable, and rule-based international trade. And for us, it's a very, very important aspect. That's why we cooperate extremely closely with Japan. As already mentioned, Japan is a big, important economy. So together with the European Union, we account together for around 30% of world's GDP and around 37% of world's trade. So our economic impact is very big on world's trade and world economy, as you can see. European Union is Japan's third trading partner and first investor in Japan. And Japan is European Union's sixth trading partner, second in Asia, and second destination of investment from Japan. As you can see on the screen, thousands of European companies are already exporting to Japan, are trading, cooperating with Japan, creating thousands and thousands of jobs. Of course, we hope that with the economic partnership agreement, then this number will only grow, increase. What I would like to stress here is that almost 80% of those companies trading and doing business with Japan are small or medium-sized enterprises. And those are the companies we would like to further support and help them to develop economic ties with Japan. As already mentioned, 2019 was a very important year for EU-Japan mutual relations. First of all, the economic partnership agreement I mentioned already several times entered into force. But we should not forget that we always also have a very broad political strategic partnership agreement, a political umbrella. So as you can see, our ties, our links are very close. But now let me go straight to the EPA, to the Economic Partnership Agreement, which, as I mentioned, entered into force on 1st of February 2019. And I would like to just highlight the key, most important benefits of the agreement. Of course, there are many, many more, and we are working every day to make this agreement operational and beneficial for stakeholders, both in the EU and Japan. But the main things I would like to highlight, first of all, very obvious, very easy to notice at the day of entry into force of the agreement, was the elimination or very serious reduction of custom duties. At the entry into force of the agreement, around 90% of custom duties were just basically eliminated. It will go up to almost 99% in 50 years because certain tariffs will be eliminated or reduced over time. And what it means in practice, basically huge savings for European companies which export to Japan. It is estimated that before the agreement, European companies paid around 1 billion euros a year in custom duties. So imagine the savings the agreement gave them now. Second point are non-tariff measures. So everything else than tariffs, because trade, of course, you can have not only tariffs that pose certain difficulties to trade and impose costs, but very often there are certain non-tariff measures, for example, cumbersome procedures or cumbersome regulation, which make trade between two countries, two blocks more difficult. And EPA, at the entry into force, removed numerous non-tariff measures, and therefore it's much easier to trade with Japan now. What I would like to stress here is that EPA, the agreement is, we call it so-called living agreement, which means that we are in a constant discussion with Japan and constant dialogue, let's say. And if there are any new non-tariff measures, we will of course try to remove them and to solve the problem and to help companies. Next point, as you can see, I mentioned here are services, because the agreement is not only about trade in goods and products, it's also about trade in services. And we have a very substantial, very comprehensive chapter and provisions on services. And in practice, it means that the agreement opened up services market for European companies, in particular in financial services, telecommunication, transport, etc. And we are now in the following up of the entry into force and the implementation, we put extremely strong effort to make sure that more and more services are exported, European services are exported to Japan. This is a very important point. Next one, government procurement. Also a big achievement of the agreement, because it increased access to government procurement for European companies. And what is worth stressing here, EPA is not only about procurement at central level, but EPA also gives European companies access to government procurement at sub-central level, at so-called core cities in Japan. So also there, European companies can go and apply for tenders. Further benefits of EPA, as I mentioned, the key ones of many. EPA has a very strong, comprehensive intellectual property rights chapter. And EPA reinforced certain commitment of both European Union and Japan regarding trademark, patents, copyright, trade secrets, geographical indications, which are very important for Europe. So we have also very good provisions in that respect. Another thing I would like to highlight, which we now normally have in our trade agreements with other countries, is SMEs chapter, small and medium-sized enterprise chapter, because as you saw, they are the vast majority of companies which trade with Japan. And what we want to do in EPA, we want to support them. We want to provide them with information, explanation, clarification, support. So we have a dedicated chapter in the agreement with the sole objective of supporting SMEs, basically. So not only big companies can trade and can export to Japan. And I must say that both EU and Japan take these provisions, these obligations very seriously. Next point, sustainability. This is also now for everyone, of course, but for the EU and Japan, it's a very like a key aspect of the agreement, because we want to make sure that we have flourishing trade, but also that our trade is sustainable, that we both fight climate change, that we have very high environmental, labor, consumer protection standards. So we don't want to lower our standards. We want to make them, you know, the top in the world scene. We want to be an example for other countries, for other blocs to protect the environment, climate, etc. Last but not least, I would like to mention institutional structure of EPA. It may sound very formalistic, but it's a very, very important tool, because EPA established committees at political level and at technical level, which deal with many, many aspects of the implementation of the agreement, with the technical barriers to trade, IPR, regulatory cooperation, trading goods, of course, trading services, government procurement. So thanks to the agreement, we have an open channel of communication between European and Japanese authorities, and we are in constant dialogue. First of all, of course, we are trying to make sure that the agreement works, that the companies are using it and it's easy to use. Second of all, we solve problems. If there is a problem arising, we do our best to solve it as soon as possible. And third, which is a very important point, is we want to make this agreement, as I mentioned already, living. So we want to cooperate further and strengthen our cooperation, for example, in a regulatory field. So as you see, we are in constant cooperation with Japan, how to improve, even further improve the economic and trade climate between with us ourselves. I have limited time, so I will finish here, but I wanted to give you some links to websites when you can find much more information and very detailed explanation. First is the European Commission Digitrade website, when you can find the text of the agreement, explanation, fact sheets. The second link is very, very important. I would like to highlight. It's called Access to Markets. And it's a very new tool introduced by the European Commission, by Digitrade, to help companies. And basically, it's a very practical tool when by typing the product you would like to export to Japan, you will immediately find all the rules, applicable tariffs, if there are any applicable rules of origin. So it's very, very easy to use and helpful, I guess, tool. Then Digitaxud. Dealing with customs matters. Here you have certain explanations, further explanations, how to claim preferences, because of, as I said, there are no tariffs in the EPA, under EPA anymore. So how to make sure that you can obtain those preferences. And here I would like to stress two things. As you see, you have functional mailbox, both in Japan and in the European Union, when you can directly write an email to European or Japanese authorities asking questions and clarifications if you have any on custom matters, on rules of origin matters. So as you see, we introduced this tool to further help companies. So they don't need to look for information and waste their time. The last point is very useful, also website of EU-Japan Center for Industrial Cooperation. I saw that there is a speaker from the center later on, but this is a extremely useful source of information about the agreement. They have regular webinars, they have a help desk for SMEs. So there's a lot of support available. And I would only encourage you to use EPA. And if you have any further questions, because I am well aware that this is a very short and brief and rapid presentation, but if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. You have my email address on the screen. So I would like to thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you very fruitful discussion, and I hope that the cooperation between the EU and Japan will blossom and develop further. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Silvia. Because of these clear points and practical also tools from the European Union, and also that will promote. We are very optimistic in the potential of this new cooperation, this next Japan generation, if we can call that, relationship between both areas, especially now that we are in this pandemic situation after COVID. It's time to rethink and to create this new cooperation that can help to that economic recovery. The European Commission has done their homework. As you know, we are talking of 750,000 million euros. We hope that there is a slot for mutual cooperation, as Silvia has demonstrated. There are a lot of new jobs, new employment, and we know there are a lot of lessons from the past that we can learn from each other. Okay, we are going to connect now with Tokyo, with Norito Mita, manager of the European Enterprise Network Japan, and at the European Union Japan Center for Industrial Cooperation. Konnichiwa. You have the floor, Mr. Noriko.
お願いいたします。皆様、こんにちは。日朝産業協力センター東京本部の三田と申します。本日はお時間を頂戴しまして、エンタープライズヨーロッパネットワーク、そして日朝産業協力センターについて簡単にご紹介いたします。 日曜産業協力センターは日本の経済産業省と欧州委員会からの共同資金によって運営されている公的な立場の機関となります。1987年に設立され、30年以上にわたり日本と EU の産業協力の中核を担う機関として活動しています。本部はこちら東京にあり、ベルギーのブラッセルには欧州事務所があります。現在、双方合わせて35名のスタッフが在籍しています。こちら、日曜産業協力センターでは、日曜企業支援、政策関連、研究開発、イノベーションにおける日曜協力の推進、これら3つの分野を中心にさまざまな事業を担当しています。その一つがエンタープライズヨーロッパネットワーク、通称 EEN です。EEN は欧州の中小企業の国際化を目的に2008年に欧州委員会によって設立された公的ビジネスマッチングプログラムです。名称にあるネットワークとは、マッチングの仲介をする参加機関をネットワークするという意味を持っています。プログラムの設立当初は欧州域内限定で運営されていましたが、その後徐々に欧州域外にもそのネットワークを広げてまいりました。日曜産業協力センターは2011年に日本におけるコンタクトポイントとして EEN に加入し活動を続けております。また、現在では60カ国以上、600以上のサポート機関から約3000人の担当者が EEN のコンタクトポイントとして活動しております。EEN ではあらゆる産業分野を対象にパートナー探しを支援しています。企業だけではなく、大学や研究機関の皆様にもご活用いただける仕組みになっています。例えば、ホライゾンヨーロッパにおけるコンソーシアムに参加する研究パートナーを探したいというような目的での利用も可能になっています。ビジネス以外にも、共同研究開発パートナーや開発した技術のライセンスアウト、商品化を想定したパートナー探しにも活用していただけるものです。EEN ジャパンではデータベースを活用したパートナー探し、展示会、B2B マッチングイベント、情報サービスを通じたサポートを提供しています。なお、EEN は公的なプログラムであることから、基本的に利用にあたっての費用は発生いたしません。ただし、一部商談会イベントにおいては参加費用が必要なケースもありますので、あらかじめご了承ください。EEN が提供しているマッチングのツールの一つが協業リクエストデータベースです。インターネットの接続環境があれば特別な手続きはなく、どなたでも閲覧可能なデータベースです。このデータベースにはパートナー探しの条件が書かれたプロフィールが掲載されており、関心を持つプロフィールがあれば EEN を通して問い合わせをすることができるようになっています。また、あるいはプロフィールを掲載し、ご自分で自ら情報発信してパートナーを探すといった形の利用もできるようになっています。データベースに掲載されているプロフィールでは、企業名、商品名などはすべては EEN が欧州委員会によって運営されている特別なプログラムであるため、特定の企業や商品の宣伝の場にならないようにという配慮から来ているものです。さらには、研究内容や自社の動きを同業他社に知られたくない場合など、情報の保護、機密性についても考慮されています。また、問い合わせのメールや電話でお時間煩わされるようなことがないというのも一つの特徴です。また、このデータベースでは任意のキーワード、国別、プロフィールのタイプ別の検索も可能になっておりますので、後ほどぜひお試しください。また、EEN では年間100以上のビジネスマッチングイベント、いわゆる商談会を開催しています。ビジネスマッチングイベントの開催情報については、EEN ジャパンのウェブサイトからご覧いただけますので、こちらもご興味ありましたらご覧ください。また、マッチングイベントでは、この一例のように、イベントごとに専用のプラットフォームをご用意しております。このプラットフォーム上では、参加者が事前にミーティングのアポイントメントを取ることができるようになっており、イベント当日のスケジュールが立てやすくなると、皆様に好評いただいています。 ちらは実際に、ドイツのデュッセルドルフで開催されたアメリカコンパメドのマッチングイベントの様子です。コロナウイルスのパンデミックをきっかけに昨年からはマッチングイベントがオンラインあるいはハイブリッドで行われることが多くなっています。このように実会場で行われるマッチングイベントではテーブルが用意されており、落ち着いて商談できる環境が提供されています。ここまで EEN を中心にご紹介してまいりましたが、日曜産業協力センターでは様々な事業、活動を行っております。詳しくは日曜産業協力センターのウェブサイト、日本語と英語ございますので、ぜひこちらをご覧ください。また、一部の事業になりますが、こちら技術移転ヘルプデスクのサイトです。EU と日本の企業、大学、研究センター、個人が技術を検索したり、技術移転の取引の仕組みを理解するためのステップをサポートしております。EU と日本の両方から現在利用可能な技術に関する知識のギャップを埋めることを目的として運営されているものです。こちらは NCP Japan のウェブサイトです。NCP Japan のウェブサイトでは、ホライゾンヨーロッパへの公募への応募についての情報のほか、ヘルプデスクの機能も提供しております。ぜひこちらもご活用ください。以上、非常に簡単にではありますが、日曜産業協力センター EEN について少しでも皆様に知っていただく機会になりましたら幸いです。本日はお時間をいただきありがとうございました。
This is Noriko. Arigato. And now we are going to connect with Madrid with Mr. Manuel Gandara. Manuel Gandara, he represents the bilateral Chamber of Commerce Hispano-Japonese. We are going from Tokyo to Madrid. Okay. The floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much to Finnova to give us the chance to present ourselves. Nisei Shogyo Kaigi Sho no Manuel desu. Sumimasen, watashi wa nihongo hanasemasen. Thank you very much, Haya. First of all, we have been founded in 1954, but till the 80s, when the situation gets better and the relations start to grow, we have to start and collaborate in different kind of activities. We, of course, we are focused in promotion of commercial relations between Spain and Japan. We try to offer the best opportunities for the Japanese and Spanish market. We used to be on like a bridge between both sides. We attend every kind of consult and ask questions. We try to find the best choices and the best opportunities and find the best way to achieve the results. So we, of course, realize reverse missions, direct missions, and we coordinate every kind of meetings. And we are very focused on connect both sides in every level. We attend persons, different kind of small or big entities, and every kind of enterprise. We are not close to any sector, so we have a huge experience since then, and we also work in Japan with different kind of fairs. We also have the first Japanese magazine in Japanese here in Spain. We publish it since 1985, and during the years we have the chance to know and collaborate with every kind of entities in Spain and Japan, and especially we also have some some chances to work together hand to hand with EU Japan Center. It's very interesting because they um, they uh, they offer different kind of opportunities in Japan, and to connect Europe with Japan, which is very important to develop all kind of relations. And of course, we are able to attend every single situation, and we also grow a lot since 2005. We also have been called to attend and manage to collaborate with the Kansai World Expo from Aichi. Has been celebrating Aichi, and we are very proud of have the chance to develop a publish about historic mainly things that relations of the between Spain and Japan, and we hope to have the chance to still collaborating and growing in every sector. And it's a very I am very proud to stay here today and have the chance to meet every one of you, and start to meet each other, and develop every kind of relations and opportunities that comes. So anyway, we hope to have the chances to attend you if you have any question or any doubts. I think at the end of the session I have some times to still speaking and respond to your questions.
Gracias. Thank you very much.
Domo arigatou gozaimasu.
I would like to inform that today is the International Day of the Preservation of the Ozone Layer. As you is one of the objectives of the Finoa Foundation is to work fighting against climate change. And we think there is a lot of opportunities in that field. Also, allow me to inform that, because we have time enough, this is an official event under the Energy Week of the DG Energy of the European Commission. And what does it mean? It means in this new cooperation, we should identify concrete areas of cooperation in energy and renewable energy and energy efficiency. And we believe that there are a lot of potential links in that field, renewable energy. That is because of that, we would like to identify enterprise or technological institutes from Japan that has patents in disruptive and innovative ideas to be implemented into the European Union, or to work with European Union companies, and vice versa, in both sides. And we are working hard in some Horizon Europe calls, like Innovation Fund. Also with there are interesting programs open at the moment from the DG Environment of the European Commission. Is life in circular economy? What about all the potentials of technology in the field of waste to energy, waste to fuel? I'm talking not of incineration, but perhaps pyrolysis, thermocracking, etc. And I'm talking about energy because we are going now to connect from Vigo. I'm physically in Mindtech. Mindtech is one of the most international fairs, metal mechanic fairs in Europe. Is in Vigo, Galicia region. Now the Minister of Economy in Spain, Nadia Calviño, is explaining in parallel in another meeting room the approach of Spain in that challenge of the EU funding for this period, 2021-2027. Last bullet point about next generation. Did you know this is the most important economic recovery plan? Is in terms of GDP, 12 times more than at the time what was the so-called Marshall's Plan in Europe. Okay, now we are going to connect with someone that is working from Anvers in Belgium, in the field of energy, but also in the field of diplomacy. We believe that we have now the legal tools and the institutional tools for this economical cooperation. And we would like to understand the vision from that economic diplomacy. And it's because of that we have invited Mr. Jan Aznar, Secretary General and co-founder of Diplomatic World. Dag, bedankt, and the floor is yours, Mr. Aznar.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Revuelta, and also to all the audience to participate and to listen to the Diplomatic World story. I have a presentation prepared, so I'm going to share the screen. Hopefully everything is working fine. Yes, okay. Like Manuel Revuelta mentioned, I'm Secretary General of Diplomatic World and Diplomatic World Institute, and soon Diplomatic World Media. I will try to explain the platforms behind Diplomatic World because we have also a nice story to tell about the recent partnership with Finnova, which I also explained in brief during the presentation. Hopefully everything works. Yes, one moment. So Diplomatic World is exists already 20 years. We publish already a lot of magazines. For example, I have here, I don't know if you see the video. I have the magazine here. It's 188 pages. For people interested, we just included the speech of the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. The next interview is Al Gore, who started the Inconvenient Truth. So this is the magazine number 65 to give an idea. We try to be to become the leading no fake news and opinion maker in key diplomatic journalistic medium, by publishing, broadcasting of summits. And we have direct and constant contacts with the royal family, families, European international officials, including ambassadors, ministers, European commissioners, also the industry, the CEOs of leading companies and multinationals. Diplomatic World published magazines. For the moment, we are already 65. We exist 20 years. We are an observing authority. We are not tabloid press. We try to look after positive news. We are not looking after negative news on the market. We look after positive news in politics, economics, culture, art, health, innovations, and science. And we try to communicate this to the Diplomatic World community, to the ambassadors, to the governments that there are ideas of new ideas, and we try to publish that in a magazine and on the social media, and soon on Diplomatic World Media live streaming platform. For the moment, it's every 3 months, quarterly, there are about 20,000 printed copies. All the copies goes to the embassies, the member of the European Parliament, the European Commission, also to the Belgian and Spanish royal families, the members of the Belgian government, head of states, influential economic forums, organizations like UNICEF, United Nations, FEMOSA, and consulting bureaus and think tank platforms. You can buy this magazine in the specialized press shop here in Brussels, 9.5 euros. And we also do the online dissemination on website, social media, Twitter. So if you hook on the Diplomatic World websites, you can click on the magazines for free and you can look to the content. We are located, where are we located in Belgium? Diplomatic headquarters and institute, we are located in Brussels, in Avenue Louise. We are also located in Living Tomorrow, which was called previously the House of the Future. It has been inaugurated by Bill Gates from Microsoft, to give you an idea. This is a business network platform. All big companies are there, like Bayer, BASF, Panasonic, etc., etc. In Antwerp, we are located in the Kamers as a business platform network, because Antwerp is the economic heart of Belgium, the second largest harbor in Europe. There's a lot of industrial activity, so we hook there on the business network. In Lier, we are here at Panasonic. I'm just here in the offices of Panasonic in Lier. I'm now in the video conference room broadcasting. I will have a more concrete slide why we are in the board of directors here in Panasonic, which is Sanel, which was previously Sanyo Electric Corporation. And also we are in AED studios if we need to organize big conferences, 1,000 people or more, even 10,000 people on seminars. We have AED studios. For small groups, we go to Living Tomorrow. They can take around 500 people for a seminar. The Diplomatic World Institute has a lot of partnerships, more in the diplomatic area. What is very interesting, we have a partnership with FEMOSA, which is the free and special economic zones, tax-free zones. We have now a partnership with Finova, the European Foundation for Startups, which I will talk later why we did it. And we are also involved in other organizations more on diplomatic level. Also, we are in the World Business Angels Investment Forum, which...
Jan,
yes?
Thank you. But what's your vision about this relationship, Japan-European Union? Please.
Okay, so the relationship now we have already with Sanyo Electric and Panasonic here, the relationship. We have here the European Training and Expertise Center since 1987. So we have a very solid relationship with Japan. So we know Japan quite well. Why we hook with Finova is due to, we need to fight against the climate change with smart intelligence. And what does that mean, smart intelligence? We need technology, we need funding, countries need to have technology, funding, expertise, and also proven business models. And that's something what Finova advantage is, because they have the experience and the business models. And through Sanel, Panasonic, we have the technology. So we are always looking after new technologies, and that may be interesting for the audiences in Japan, because to have technology is one thing. The highest cost is to have sales distribution. You need to have proper distribution in Europe, and that costs a lot of money, time, and maybe you have success if you hook with the right partners. So To give an example, we did with the technology, in Italian technology, we published that in the Diplomatic World 63. The machine is, there's an energy saving machine, which is running on the Nuclear Physical Institute, which is connected with the CERN in Switzerland. There behind you will see me and Barbara Dietrich, the CEO of Diplomatic World. The e-power is connected on the cyclotrons, where they save energy and stabilize the network. We go and look after technologies. We're going to speak with institutions, also with the university, to see what is happening, and if it's okay, then in this case, SANEL is distributing this technology through their platforms. So through Diplomatic World, through SANEL, meanwhile, this Italian company signed an agreement with IKEA for 1,250 machines worldwide. The machines are running in the city of Antwerp, city of Madrid, and big supermarket chains through our distribution network, and also about the success. Why we did it, because that was a very small company, and it's very difficult to get visibility in Europe.
Jan, time is over.
Okay,
please.
that one thing, why we do it, because here you see what we did with the Maldives in the world. It's organized with the government of the Maldives. They are very concerned about climate change. They are looking for technology. They are looking for funds. So this is the first island that we're going to work together with Finova. We sent also a message which sorted out in the Maldives. We proclaim a global underwater ambassador for a healthy planet. We are involved in conferences. Here you see Mr. Revuelta during the opening of the consulate of the Maldives. We are in summits. We talk straight with presidents. Even you see Macron from France, Putin from Russia, even with UNICEF on the left side.
Thank you very much, Jan.
And then we have Diplomatic World Media, and I finish. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jan. We're going to try to focus in the relationship European Union-Japan. Okay, we are going into the panel 2, challenges and opportunities for the European-Japan entrepreneurs. If I may, is one of the key issues. We believe in the new recovery based in talent for new enterprises, based in innovation. Is one of the priorities for Finova. And we are going to connect, we are going from Antwerp to Tokyo. And we are going to connect with Masashi Ueda, Incubation Manager at Keiyo Fujisawa Innovation Village. You have the word. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.大丈夫ですかね。スライド見えてますかね。はい。それでは始めさせていただきます。皆様はじめまして。本日はプレゼンをする機会をいただきましてありがとうございます。上田正史と申します。私は今、ビジネスに挑戦する人を応援する企業支援の仕事を、慶応大学の湘南藤沢キャンパスというところでしています。湘南藤沢キャンパスは、湘南藤沢キャンパスそれぞれの単語の頭文字を取って通称 SFC と呼ばれています。本日は SFC における企業環境がどうなっているのか、その現状を皆様にお伝えして、将来的な日本と EU との連携のヒントになるようなお話ができればと考えておりますので、よろしくお願いいたします。はい、日本では企業に関する言葉を耳にする機会は以前と比べて確実に増えました。2000年代に入ってから日本政府は経済の成長を目的として 成長の鍵となる企業を促進させるべく様々な取り組みをしてきました。そこでまず日本で起業に挑戦する人がどれくらいいるのかということについて、開業率の推移という観点から考えていきたいと思います。日本政府は2020年までに開業率を 10% にすることを目指してきましたが、目標とした数値には遠く及ばず、日本の開業率は 4% 台で停滞しています。次に、世界と比べて日本の企業活動は活発なのかということについて共有したいと思います。国際的に見ると、日本の開業率は相当程度低い水準であることがわかります。各国により統計の性質が異なるため、単純な比較はできないと思いますが、日本は EU などの国々と比べて企業活動が活発とは言えない状況にあります。昨日の日本経済新聞の記事にもあったのですが、コロナの状況でアメリカなどではピンチをチャンスに変えるべく企業が増加しているということですが、日本ではやはり企業は増加していないようでした。次に、日本政府は日本における企業活動を促進させるために、特に大学の研究成果などをビジネスに結びつけていきたいと考えて、様々な施策を行ってきました。その成果を大学発ベンチャーの企業数から考えていきたいと思います。よいしょ。大学発ベンチャーの定義や数の把握方法によって調査の結果は大きく異なってくると思いますが、大学発ベンチャーの数は増加傾向にあります。この調査では大学ごとの順位もわかるのですが、私たち慶応大学の大学発ベンチャーの設立数は他大学と比べても例年多いという結果になっています。その中で慶応大学は SFC という湘南藤沢キャンパスの他にも様々なキャンパスがあるのですが、その中でも特に SFC は、昔から起業する人が多いと言われています。その理由について一緒に考えていきたいと思います。他のキャンパスに比べて SFC で起業が多い要因の一つに、SFC には慶応藤沢イノベーションビレッジという企業支援施設があるということも挙げられるかと思います。この施設で私は働いているのですが、この施設は国、自治体、大学が連携しながら起業家と言われる人たちをサポートするために2006年に事業を開始しました。それぞれの機関から私のようなインキュベーションマネージャーが配置され、現在3人のマネージャーが協力しながら起業家を支援しています。施設ができてから16年目に突入しましたが、これまでに80以上の企業が施設を利用してくれました。その中で上場した会社が2社あるなどの成果を出しています。また、SFCIV を利用して成長した企業が J スタートアップという日本を代表するスタートアップに2社選ばれています。このように SFC では企業支援をする施設があることもあって、学生が在学中に新しいビジネスで挑戦するケースが毎年コンスタントに生まれているような状況です。私自身も慶応大学の卒業生で、別のキャンパスで私は学生時代を過ごしたんですけれども、私のいたキャンパスでは起業という言葉を耳にすることはほとんどありませんでした。しかし SFC は独特で、教員も学生に対して起業とかをどんどんやればいいといった雰囲気を出して、学生の調整を応援しています。なので SFC では起業支援の施設がある以外にも、学生が起業について学べる授業がたくさんあったり、学生たちが自らビジネスコンテストを開催したりと、起業のネットワークも構築されていて、学生が起業を身近に感じられる数多くの機会が提供されています。また、SFC で起業した卒業生たちは、事業性だけでなく、社会課題を解決するような社会性ですね。こういったことも追求しながらビジネスに挑戦しているケースが多いという特徴があります。身近に起業家がいることが企業活動を促進させるというグローバルアントレプレナーシップモニターのデータもありますが、 こうした SFC の先輩たちの影響を受けて、今もたくさんの SFC の学生がビジネスに挑戦しています。たくさんの学生がビジネスに挑戦していると言いましたが、挑戦を始めると、やはり学生は様々な課題に直面します。私が学生の支援をしていて感じるのは、課題に対する向き合い方次第で、その後の成長が大きく変わってくるというものです。最後に起業を目指す学生の課題などをお話ししたいと思います。私の経験になってしまいますが、プロジェクトをうまく進めていく学生の特徴として、柔軟な捉え方ができるという点があるかと思います。それに対して、相手から答えをもらうことばかりを考えて、自分の主張ばかりをする学生は、企業活動が思ったように進んでいかないケースが多いです。また、自分自身に対する理解もですが、他者、相手に対する理解も深めていくことが、ビジネスを進めていく上では重要だと考えています。こういった学生の課題を解決するために、ビジネスを生み出すというチーム活動を通じて参加者が協力しながら一緒に成長していく支援プログラムを私たちは開発しました。また、これまでは日本とアメリカを引っ張っていけるようなリーダーを育成するということにも取り組んできました。ただ、私はアメリカも好きなんですけれども、実はヨーロッパの方が好きで、妻の妹もスペイン人と結婚したということもあって、今後はぜひ日本と EU の国で協力しながら企業に挑戦するような環境を整えていければと考えております。はい。私の話を聞いて一緒に何かやってもいいよと思った方はぜひご連絡いただければ嬉しいです。私からの発表は以上となります。ありがとうございました。
Thank you. Thank you, Masashi. And of course, we will contact you and we will connect you with some of our enterprise, European enterprise and small and medium enterprises that are innovative and they would like to be in contact with your center and your ecosystem. I take in account that important message about the need of flexibility in that university startups for talent and growth. And we still are connected in Japan, and now we are going to connect with Koyu Ito, CEO of Azul Energy. And please, all of you, we pretend with this first webinar from Finova to contribute to create a real networking to look for practical solutions, real solutions, as the example that Mr. Aznar has explained for Maldives. Did you know that Maldives next year is going to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the tourism, and they are committed with sustainable tourism? I'm really convinced about the possibilities of combining innovation from Japan with European innovations to implement, why not, in the islands of Maldives. That is one of the areas more affected because of the climate change. Mr. Koyu Ito, you have the word, and konnichiwa.
ご紹介ありがとうございました。Azure Energy株式会社代表の伊藤と申します。本日はこのような機会をいただきまして、誠にありがとうございます。はい、それでは説明させていただきます。まず会社概要に関してなんですが、我々Azure Energyと申しますが、東北大学発のベンチャーとして、2019年の7月に設立しております。設立で2年経ったところになります。我々の会社の設立のミッションとしましては、今回大学の研究成果であります次世代電池用の触媒材料、Azure触媒と我々呼んでおりますが、こちらは従来白金などのレアメタルが不可欠だった触媒に関して、レアメタルを使わない新たな素材を開発しまして、これの普及拡大を目的としております。我々はこの Azure触媒の技術を用いまして、 次世代電池、開発を通して、循環型社会の実現というところに貢献したいというふうに考えています。まず、現状の課題に関してご説明いたします。我々の身近で、不可欠な存在の電池バッテリーなんですが、便利な反面、様々な環境問題というところもございます。一つはですね、このバッテリー、電池の中に含まれている素材には、有害な重金属ですとか、あとはレアメタルがたくさん使われているというところになります。このレアメタルの採掘に関しては、様々な環境問題というものが引き起こされるというふうに言われております。また、電池は様々な家電製品の中に含まれているんですが、この廃棄家電の中に含まれる電池、e-waste と呼ばれておりますが、これから、廃棄物からですね、土壌汚染ですとか、水の汚染などが引き起こされて、健康被害が引き起こされるというところが、特に発展途上国なので、社会問題となっております。そこで我々はですね、この Azure 技術、Azure 触媒の技術を用いて、害がない、安全な電池というものを実現したいというふうに考えています。特にこのレアメタルを使わずに、電池の高性能化にはレアメタルが不可欠とされていますが、レアメタルを用いずに高性能な、しかも環境に優しい、そういった電池を実現したいというふうに考えています。SDGs の7番ですとか12番に対応した、そういったことを目標としております。我々の製品についてご説明いたします。我々のこの Azure 触媒はですね、次世代電池として期待されております燃料電池の分野と、あと金属空気電池というリチウムイオン電池の次世代の電池として期待されている高性能な電池に我々の触媒を使うことができます。我々はこの Azure 触媒の技術でこの社会問題の解決を目指していきたいというふうに考えています。続きまして、Azure 触媒についてご説明いたします。我々が今回新たに開発しました新素材の Azure 触媒なんですが、見た目はこういった青い材料で、我々の社名のAzure Energy の名前の由来にもなっているんですが、この材料は、実は我々の人体に含まれております血液中のヘモグロビンの中のヘム鉄と呼ばれるものに類似の構造を持っておりまして、我々の赤血球に含まれているヘム鉄はですね、酸素を運搬する重要な役割を果たしておりますが、今回我々の素材もですね、これを模倣したような、似たような構造をとっておりまして、高い酸素還元という触媒活性を持っている、そういう材料になっております。従来の白金触媒と比較しまして、性能は同等かそれ以上で、コスト及び環境安全性に優れているというところが特徴になっています。この Azure 触媒の用途として、我々は金属空気電池とメタルエアバッテリーというものと燃料電池への応用を考えていますが、これらの電池はですね、現在スマートフォンですとかパソコンなどに標準的に使われている、広く普及しているリチウムイオン電池よりも高いエネルギー密度を持っておりまして、電池の小型化ですとか軽量化に貢献できる、そういう電池になっております。で、今回我々特にご紹介したいのはですね、新しい電池としまして、従来はですね、重金属ですとかレアメタルなど有毒な材料が含まれていたのですが、我々の Azure 触媒を使うことで、環境にも優しく人体にも優しい新たなフィルム型の電池というものを開発しています。我々はこのフィルム型の電池の実用化を通して、特に医療分野への応用を通じて、この電池の環境問題というところの解決に実現したいというふうに考えています。本日の発表は以上になります。 ご清聴ありがとうございました。
Arigato. Now we are going to start the panel 3. The panel 3 is very important. It's about young people. One of the young people is the future of this Europe-Japan cooperation, and the future, the young people will be who is going to help us for the economic recovery after pandemic. And we are going to focus now on training and learning opportunities for young people, European Union, Japan. And we are going to connect from Vigo, Galicia, Spain, from the Mindtech International Fair of Metal Mechanics. We are going to connect with our director of the Innova Foundation and in training and human resources to manage the talent. His pedagogo is Mr. Alberto Navarro. He's in the Mediterranean coast, in Javier. And you have the floor, Mr. Navarro, and perhaps you can explain as an example. We are very happy and very proud of hosting in Brussels our colleague, Ayato. Thanks him, you are listening the interpretation in English. Mr. Navarro, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Juanma. Thank you very much to organizers of this webinar for inviting me. And as Juanma told, I'm going to speak about the possibilities for the training for the people from Japan and their trainerships in Europe and the European Union and the European countries. So I have a presentation. Let me share my screen. Okay, is everything okay? Okay, let's start from the, this is my presentation. This is about the training and learning opportunities for young people in the European Union and Japan. First of all, I will talk about the Erasmus Plus program. I think it's the most famous program in the world about mobility and learning. So there are many different kind of projects in the Erasmus Plus program, but I just want to talk about the first one because of the other ones will talk my colleague Juan Viesca in a few minutes. The Erasmus Plus program allows the mobility of the young people or other persons involved in the education in the European and foreign countries. So you have Erasmus Plus projects for teachers, trainees, managers, youth monitors, and also for the university field, vocational skills, higher education. You have many different projects, and there are many different possibilities to participate in one of these projects. So if you are interested, you are an university, you are a student, you have different sources of information about the Erasmus Plus program, so you can participate. For example, if you are a student of an European university, you have the possibility to develop your traineeship in other countries of the European Union into the framework of the Erasmus Plus project. You have a internship grant, and you can spend like 3 or 6 months in another European country during your traineeship period. This is the website of the Erasmus Plus project in Spain. Now you can see, for example, a project in Korea, for example, but as I told you, there are plenty different programs. So you can participate as a Japan university, as a Japanese student, or a student living in a European country. Now let's talk about the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program. This is a program most for entrepreneurs, not for students. So we'll talk about the two sides of these different programs. The Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs programs, young entrepreneur doesn't mean about the youth people. It's youth entrepreneur. It's that start their startup in less than 3 years. So it's not about their age, it's the age of the startup. Okay, the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs is a transnational exchange program that offers entrepreneurs and people who want to start a business the opportunity to learn from experienced entrepreneurs who run a small business in other participating countries. So you can participate, it's an exchange of equals, it's not like an internship, okay? This is financed by the European Commission, and it's an exchange of equals. A youth entrepreneur is moving to another country, and another entrepreneur with experience is hosting the young entrepreneur. So they can learn from each other. This, as I told you, it's not like an internship. It's more a kind of exchange of equals. Okay, who can participate in this program? The new entrepreneurs who are seriously planning to start their own business or have done since in the last 3 years, as I told you. If you are living if you are from Japan, but you are living in a European country for more than 1 year, you can participate too. And in the other hand, you have the experienced entrepreneurs who own or manage a small or medium-sized business in the European countries as a partner. Okay, that's the both sides. This program offers, you can see in the slide, different possibilities. Okay, that's the second one. Okay, those are the requirements to participate as new entrepreneur. Okay, you have to prepare a business plan, or the idea to develop your business plan. Okay, because you can being started your startup, or you have the idea and you want to develop the startup. Okay, if you don't have a startup, you have just an idea, you can participate too. You have started your business in the last 3 years, or you have the idea to develop it. The sector, there no matter, and there is no age limit. You must be a permanent resident in one of the European countries. As I told you, if you have the residence of the working permission, you can participate too. Have a specific project idea, be highly motivated, and be prepared to supplement the funds. They have different amounts of funds depending on the country. Now we will see after. Those are the profits of participate that are obviously. Okay, and the requirements for being an host entrepreneur. You must be also a permanent resident if one of the European countries. And now we have different countries that can participate, but not in the European Union, like Brazil, Israel, and many others. You have to be an owner of an SME. You have to run a business for several years and being to share your knowledge. Those are the profits for the host entrepreneurs. And this is the financial support depending of the country. Okay, this is just an idea depending of the cost of the life in different countries. They give you a different amount of euros. Okay, this exchange can be from up to 3 months to 6. You can start, for example, in January, and you can start 1 month in the other country, 1 month back to your country, another month, or you can start in January and spend the 6 months following. Okay, let's talk now about the program Eurodyssée. Eurodyssée is another kind of mobility program for young people too. This is financed by the Assembly of the Regions of Europe. The Eurodyssée program is for young people between 18 and 30 years. And normally there is no training required. It's for university students, for vocational training students. You don't need to have, for example, just university students. Okay, this allows you to develop an internship from 3 to 7 months. They also give you a language course, the accommodation, another grant, the salary monthly allowance, assure, and certificate. All the other programs have also SURE. Those are the participant regions. This is a program from the Assembly of the Regions, so it's not, we are not talking about just countries, because for example in Spain they are just participating Catalonia, Comunidad Valenciana, and Murcia. It's not all the Spanish countries regions participating. Okay, but for example in Belgium we have Brussels and Walloon. Okay, if you have you want more information, here is the website. And the last one and the most important of all is the program Next Talent Generation. That is a program that we developed from Finova. The Next Talent Generation EU is a website. You have here the link. And the Next Talent Generation EU was created with the aim of creating an European alliance that brings together entities in various skins. Okay, the idea is to develop a website that offer all the opportunities in the same platform that the European Union offer to the young people. Okay, so in this website, you will also find the opportunities for the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs, the Erasmus Plus offers, the EuroDC offers, the PC offers, and also the training opportunities that we offer from Finova for the other people. Okay, this is a screenshot of the website. As you can see, we publish, for example, the profiles and the requirements of each offer, the placement, what is the offer, the starting date, the amount of the grant, etc., etc. Also, we have an option that you can present your candidature. If maybe you don't find an offer, you can send us your candidature, and we can help you to find an opportunity to find a traineeship. Okay, this is my email. If you have any doubts or any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. And thank you very much to all the people, and konnichiwa.
If I may, Alberto, okay, we have not a lot of time, but allow me to explain another quite interesting program that has facilitated that one young talent people, Ayato, and I will ask Ayato at the end of the session to explain his experience. Is the program Youth Guarantee. Youth Guarantee is a program that guarantees young people under 30 years old to have a professional experience abroad. We are talking of European citizens, but also, as Ayato, citizens from Japan that are in Europe. In that case, Ayato was one of the 20,000 Japanese students. He was doing in Pamplona a master in communication and relation.
彼はスペインのパンプローナで
This tool allows also to have that mobility. The importance is not the name of the different programs, but what we have to understand is that Japanese in Europe, Japanese students in Europe can have the right to ask for these EU funding programs to have an experience in Brussels. And on behalf of Finova, we will inform the different consuls and ambassadors about this opportunity. And I would like to highlight the program Erasmus Entrepreneurship, and I wonder if European Union has an agreement with Turkey or with the United States that allows that young entrepreneurs from Europe goes to the United States, why not to Japan? And why not vice versa? And I'm pretty sure that if there are entities in Japan interested, we could explore to enlarge Erasmus Entrepreneurship for having a real cooperation in the framework of this two partnerships, the strategic partnership agreement and the economic partnership agreement, both signed in 2018. What is, when you think we have now the right legal agreement, and it was signed just before the COVID-19 crisis. Now we are ready. New financial period. We are going out of this COVID-19. Let's work together. Okay, let's go now. We reconnect with Tokyo, with Japan, and I would like to have the vision from Mr. Tom Kuczynski. He is the Science and Technological Advisor at the delegation of the European Union to Japan. And he will be able to explain how, from the European Commission, they see this practical relation and this next Japan generation cooperation with the European Union in practical, for the young people, for the young entrepreneurs, and how to learn from both sides in this cooperation and European Union perspective. The floor is yours, Mr. Tom.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yes, you can hear. Okay. So thank you very much for Yes. Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Perfect. We can listen to you.
Yes, there is the echo, unfortunately.
We listen to you. Hello? I think you don't listen to us.
My name is Tom Kuczynski. I work at the EU delegation to Japan, where we cover collaboration in research innovation between EU and Japan. Our main area of collaboration is currently increasing participation of Japanese researchers in the European Research Innovation Framework Program, currently Horizon Europe, previously Horizon 2020. When looking into the agenda of today's event, we thought that we could contribute to this panel to make a brief overview on opportunities for young researchers under Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions, in particular in two schemes for doctoral courses and also for postdoctoral fellowships. So let me switch to my presentation. Okay. Now it's okay. So Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions is a scheme to basically support researchers' mobility and researchers' career in any on any level of research career. It provides support to excellent researchers from doctoral candidates to postdoctoral researchers and more experienced researchers. Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions are open to researchers of all ages and nationalities. Up till now, over 130 nationalities from 80 countries have been benefiting from Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions over the years. It is a totally bottom-up approach. It provides opportunities for researchers to come up with their own solutions to major societal and research challenges. There is already many years of Marie Sklodowsky actions, starting from the 7th framework program already years ago. Marie Sklodowsky actions are open to all domains of research and innovation. Fields of sectors are chosen freely by applicants. We emphasize the interdisciplinary research, which is gaining relevance because of complex societal challenges increasingly require the collaboration between different disciplines for solution. And the key issue of the Sklodowsky actions is mobility. It is a central part of the scheme. The researchers are required to move from one country to another. Marie Sklodowsky actions is the most international component of the EU framework program. It accounts for more than 50% of all participation of countries outside the European Union. Grants involve international mobility within Europe and countries associated to Horizon Europe, such as Norway, Israel, Tunisia, and so on. Marie Sklodowsky actions strongly encourage mobility also between academic and non-academic sector. These non-academic organizations are not only the industry companies, but also governments, hospitals, non-profit charitable organizations, also museum and other cultural institutions. This group of entities is so large because we recognize that to remain competitive in the job market, this collaboration with various shareholders of the market is necessary in gaining cutting edge in competition on the job market. Marie Sklodowsky actions provide also good working conditions. MSCA fellows are typically recruited under an employment contract with guaranteed social security coverage and receive a fixed monthly allowance to cover their living, mobility, or family costs. So the total budget for Marie Sklodowsky actions is roughly 6.2 billion euro for the period of 2021-27. These are 7 years of the framework program. There will be over 1,000 doctoral programs. It is in Pillar 1 of the framework program, which is focusing on excellent science, bottom-up approach, supporting researchers, their mobility, again, on all career levels. Here, I would like to emphasize two schemes. Again, doctoral networks. These are programs in and outside academia, so also with stakeholders, which I mentioned earlier. This is for again for PhD candidates. And postdoctoral fellowships, which perhaps is less relevant for today. These are for individual researchers. Now, looking more closely into doctoral networks, this gets a little bit complicated. I don't have time to go in much into detail, but basically there are two calls for doctoral networks. The first call under Horizon Europe is for institutions. So this is for universities which create consortia consortia to run doctoral programs, and they, so to say, hire young researchers, doctoral candidates, who receive their degree after completion of this program. When consortium is selected for funding, the coordinator, together with all members of the consortium, they organize a call for young researchers to join these doctoral networks, and is open to basically to young researchers all around the world. So this is the second stage, or the stage where individual researchers can get involved. And this information is published on various websites, including job portal of Euraccess. And I understand that our Ms. Judith Magyar will perhaps also introduce Euraccess job portal, where these opportunities are announced. For postdoctoral fellowships, it is much more straightforward. These are research grants, which are granted to candidates who make a proposal jointly with their host institution, which needs to be in Europe. So let's say that it's Japanese researchers who prepares the application together with a host institution in Europe for the postdoctoral fellowship, which usually lasts for up to 24 months. Now looking into funding, I will just mention that there are the two types of funding, which is granted under Marie-Skłodska-Curie actions. One group are funds for entity who is organizing a program or is hosting a researcher. So this is for research networking and training contributions, as well as management and indirect contributions. And for the fellow, this is basically living allowance, mobility allowance, family allowance, and long-term leave allowance. And as you can see, these are quite substantial amounts, which enable the independence of the researcher, basically no financial issues for the duration of the program or the fellowship. Information about the calls for doctoral networks and postdoctoral fellowships, as well as other actions, which I have not covered today, are available at Horizon Europe participant portal on funding and tender website of European Commission. The opening for this year already happened. The doctoral networks and postdoctoral fellowships were open on 22nd June, with deadlines, again, this is for institution for doctoral networks, on 16th of November. So after which it is expected that in a couple of months there should be announcements for individual young researchers to join. And for postdoctoral fellowships, the deadline is 12th October. So there is very little time to prepare the application, but don't despair. A similar call will be open next year, because all Marie-Skłodska-Curie actions, they are announced basically annually. Perhaps I will skip statistics. I already run out of my time. Here are many links to the access information on Marie-Skłodska-Curie actions and funding and tender portals. I understand that this slides will be available for those who would like to check them later. So thank you very much for your attention. If you have any question, please feel free to contact us. My email is here. So thank you. Are there any questions? Maybe I could respond right away.
Thank you very much, Tom. I have one question. What's your personal opinion about the future? We will be able to increase the figures and that mutual cooperation is my question. What do you think? Living in Japan, what do you think about this program? We will be able to align the Marie Curie programs and others with these two agreements signed? What do you think? What can we do?
Excuse me, my speaker is having a terrible echo. Hold on.
Okay.
Could you repeat now, please?
Tom, my question is simple. Is living in Japan, what's your personal perception or opinion about the future of these interesting and practical programs, Marie Curie and others? Do you think we will increase the real practical cooperation if we compare with the period 2014-2020? Are you optimistic? And do you think it will contribute to this new two partnership signed in 2018? That's the question, Tom. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. I had problems with my speaker. There was a terrible echo. So yes, in fact, I didn't have time to show you the statistics. The statistics they look quite optimistic. In fact, for initially, most of participations under Marie Sklodowska actions, it was on schemes to exchange researchers. Whereas in recent years, we have an increase, in fact, of postdoctoral fellowships, as well as doctoral networks. So in Horizon 2020, in the previous seven years, these were innovative training networks, which gained in the last years of Horizon 2020 much more weight. And more and more Japanese entities, research universities, but also research entities in Japan, creating new consortia. So in the past, we had a small group of excellent Japanese research entities who joined this consortia. Just in recent years, we see additional new institutions which join these schemes. And yes, of course, we are very hopeful that with EPA and with SPA, as well as with connectivity partnership, the visibility of Marie Sklodowska actions, in particular, those for training of young researchers, in particular, postdoctoral fellowships, will increase. And in our discussions with the Japanese Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology, we see also an interest of supporting this. The collaboration under Marie Sklodowska actions, in addition to Erasmus and joint doctorates, joint master programs, was discussed recently on the second EU-Japan educational dialogue, and it is possible that in the near future there will be some concrete measures to support participation of Japanese researchers in Marie-Sklodska-Curie actions. So again, we remain hopeful that indeed in coming years, the participation of Japanese researchers in Marie-Sklodska-Curie actions, including doctoral networks, will be going up. But since these are bottom-up schemes, it largely depends on applicants, really. So we count on young researchers who will really benefit from these opportunities. And again, tools such as tender website of European Commission, as well as job portal of Eurex, so will be essential in this task. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tom. And for the young entrepreneurs or researchers or young students, I would like just to inform, we have created a website, japan.finnova.eu, where you can register. It's also open to academia, universities, to try to match and to contribute to real consortiums and cooperation in the future. Okay, now we are going in this panel 3. We are going to connect. We come back from Japan to European Union, and we are going to connect with Judith Erika McGuire. She's in Tokyo. Is the country manager at Euraxis Japan. It's a pan-European organization, non-profit, that tries to help researchers from Europe to have a better experience, and also promoting and supporting research mobility and career development. And Judith Erika, how do you see this new framework in this new financial period, post-pandemic? How do you see of course, I assume that in the last year and a half has been very difficult because of the restrictions of pandemic. Okay, the floor is yours, and you can present your organization. And okay, expecting to learn from you. Thank you.
Thank you for the kind introduction, and I hope you can actually see my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
I know I have very little time, so let's just say a few words about Eurex Japan and our scope of activities and how we can actually help the future generation in Japan. I would also especially like to thank Tom Kuczynski for referring to us in his presentation. And
sorry,
let me
Judith,
just, yes?
If you need more time, we have time enough. If you need more time, no problem. We can offer to you more time. Don't worry. Okay?
Thank you so much. Thank
Relax.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Great. Okay, so our scope of activities. Let me just.
You are in silent, Judith. You have to unmute. Now we don't see your camera, Judith. Judith?
Yeah, 1 second. I'm struggling with the system a bit. One second. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. In the meantime, because apparently Judith has some little difficulties with the technique, is what happens when you are online. I would like to remind that after Judith, we will have the panel 4, that will be the role of European Union funds in the European Union Japan partners. That perspective will allow to us. Okay, Judith is back. You are in silent? Okay.
Okay, how is it now? Okay, can you see me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
okay. I've managed to pull back. I'm sorry, my connection is rather unstable at this point. So let me just start again.
Please.
Apologies about that. So again, thank you so much for having me today. I do appreciate the invitation. And I just want to mention a few words about our activities. Let me just say that EUROXAS is present not only in Europe, but throughout the world. And we have several worldwide branches, Japan among them. Let me just say that our main activity encompasses communication and promotion. This is not only to actually help us with visual identity, it is basically to connect researchers to such projects as Horizon 2020 and the current Horizon Europe, and also Green Deal and many other activities and grants that have already been mentioned by Mr. Kuczynski. I also want to emphasize that we do not only try to help students per se or researchers, but we also welcome professionals who are involved in research in their companies, innovative research. And we would like to connect companies and academia and municipalities to help them foster future collaboration with not only in the domestic field, but also internationally, especially with Europe. That said, we also welcome associations with other Asian countries, closer collaborations with other Asian countries, and also a work framework also has information such as collaborating with the network. So information dissemination in our network is the most important activity that we have. And this also includes thematic sessions about Green Deal, health, innovation, Horizon Europe missions, and so forth. We try to build a community of researchers in our countries that we are responsible for. And for that, we organize flagship events such as the Research and Innovation Days, mobility forums, missions when we do not have the COVID emergency hindering those efforts. We also try to maintain policy dialogues while we are not responsible for policy. Yet the implementation of those ideas falls on us as far as promotion of grants and other research mobilities are concerned. Our mandate and value proposition also includes a closer link to ERA activities, the European research area, and we do link to Europeans living and working abroad. So we do not hope to only engage Japanese researchers and company personnel, but also welcome European researchers who are living and working in Japan especially. We keep close contact with the European Commission, and EUROXAS itself is an organization of the European Commission. The delegation, especially with the delegation of the European Union to Japan, they are based in Tokyo, and Mr. Kuczynski, the presenter before me, actually outlined their activities in a very succinct and detailed way right before my talk. Okay, you can find us on various SNS sites and our portal, Eurexchange Japan. And let me just say a few words about our upcoming activities. We are going to have the Falling Walls Lab webinar on the 29th of September. This actually links international researchers to the wider researcher community. The center of the Falling Walls Lab initiative is in Berlin. We are also looking to have the Innovation Day in collaboration with the EU-Japan Center for Industrial Collaboration and the European delegation. These are still being hammered out. The topic is to be on our websites. I'm sure all 3 websites will contain that information in the near future. We shall have the European Research Days encompassing 3 days. And during those, we will have Japanese and international presenters talk about their research in depth. These do not only have natural science researchers involved, but also professors, students, and company personnel in the humanities areas as well. We'll have, for example, ideas on how to publish in open access and how to write successful presentations. So let me just say that our activities are mainly, so our main profile is mainly to link. So we do not actually have bona fide platforms that we can offer, or we do not have grants that we can actually disseminate on our own. We are basically a channel of communication. We communicate the policies that the INCO officer conveys to us, and we are a channel of grants and subsidies and research opportunities that are presented by European Union and other organizations. And we try to basically hand these over to our audience on a plate. Thank you so much for listening. And I know it's a very general and very basic overview. I and my colleague, Tatsuya Maezawa in Kobe, will be very, very happy to help you with more personal details and information. Please contact us at japan@eurexas.net. The email address is right here. Thank you so much for listening.
こんばんは。はい。すみません。今まで緊急な仕事がありまして、まだオフィスにおります。そうです。はい。
Okay. Thank you very much, Judith. Thank you very much for all this practical information. We will be keeping touch for that networking. And congratulations for the excellent work you are doing. We can also help and facilitate contacts of enterprises, but also centers of innovation in municipalities that could offer that talent, doctoral talent. Anyway, we are going to the end of the seminar. We are talking now of the panel 4, is in the role of European Union funds, the European Union-Japan partnership. And we are going to connect with the director of EU funding in the Finova Foundation, Mr. Juan Viescas. He is a naval engineer, and he's also he's one of the former civil servants of the European Commission that now is working from the other side, from the private sector, from a non-profit organization. Mr. Viescas, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much, Juan Manuel. Konnichiwa, and first of all, sorry because I can't speak in Japanese, so sorry. First of all, congratulations to all the participants because of their presentations. Very interesting presentation, very high-level presentation, quite interesting for us and for all the people. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to explain to all the participants, enterprises, universities from the European Union, or even from Japan mainly, the opportunities that you have got in order to participate in European projects, in order to participate in European initiatives funded by the European Commission, because the European Commission not only finance projects coming from the EU, they also finance different projects from all over the world. Japan is one of the associated partners that can participate in a lot of programs. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Okay, so first of all, what you should know is that the European Union has launched what we call a recovery plan for Europe. Okay, this plan has got 1,800,000 million euro. That's it, more or less 1.8 billion euro that is going to be invested during the next 7 years, financing different kind of projects. Okay, this recovery plan is divided into two big axes, or into two big actions. First of all, we've got the Next Generation EU. This is a new program, but just for the member states to propose different actions regarding digital transformation and sustainability in Europe. Okay, this program has got 750 euros. 750,000 million euros, okay, and there is also the multi-annual financial framework with 1.2 billion euros to finance projects. Okay, let's see which are the difference of these programs. First of all, Next Generation is a program where the European Union gives the money to each member state, and each member state proposes different actions, different programs regarding, as I mentioned, digital transformation and sustainability. For example, here you've got an example. In Spain, there is a bilateral program of cooperation, technological cooperation between Spain and Japan that is going to be financed by the recovery plan. Okay, so this is just an example. In Spain, we're going to finance a lot of things, and one of this action is related to Japan through a center that we call CDTI. This is a technological center that finances different actions all around the world. Okay, but let's go to the main important part of this financial budget of the European Union, that is the multi-annual financial framework for the period 2020-2027. Okay, there are different ways of accessing to these funds. There is funds that are directly managed by the European Commission. There are the structural funds. There are financial instruments, mainly loans for enterprises. There's the agriculture common policy. Okay, let's talk about the funds that the European Commission manage directly to finance activities. Okay, and one of the main important programs that we can found for the European Commission is the Horizon Europe. We have talked about this program with the MSCA grants, but I have to take your attention because this program that is divided into different pillars, cooperation, the pillar number 1, cooperation between universities, the pillar number 3, that is mainly focused on enterprises, but there's an interesting pillar, number 2, where you can participate in different parts or different clusters regarding health, culture, creativity, digital industry spaces, a high level of thematics, quite interesting. Okay, how can you access to? Well, in this presentation, I'm showing you the participation of Japan on the oldest program, Horizon 2020. Is a very, very low participation, perhaps just 5.36 million euro, with 173 grants and 270 participants. But as you can see, there is an important participation from Japan in the program. We invite all the participants here to follow this program and to cooperate and to propose ideas, and why not cooperate with Innova presenting this kind of initiatives, okay? Another program that is quite interesting is the EIC Accelerator. It is a program just for European Union enterprises, okay? But if you are enterprise in Japan and a startup in Japan, and you open an enterprise here in Spain, you can present your project, because what the European Commission values is the idea, very high, disruptive, innovative idea, and you can get from €500,000 till 2.5 million euro with a percentage of co-financing of 700% of funding. Okay, quite interesting program that you can also get information in this presentation. Also, my colleague Alberto has presented the Erasmus Plus program just for the mobility projects, but you have to take into account that Japan can also participate developing training, education programs. For example, I've got here different examples: flood risk management, Erasmus Mundus Master, different universities and institutions all over the world creating a common master regarding, in this case, flood risk. There's, for example, another examples of European education in advanced ship designs, with the University of Osaka participating. There is also, for example, the Jean Monnet chairs, very famous all around the world, that the Kwansei Gakuin Educational Foundation is leading one project from Japan with 50,000 euro to have a investigation center regarding regional industries. Quite interesting program for Erasmus Plus program, okay? Also, there is another interesting program, which is the COSME, Competitiveness for SME programs. Here you've got the, let's say, projects that has been financed in Asia. And for example, the EU Japan Center for Industrial Cooperation is one of these projects that has received the support for the European Union, okay? Here you can see the web page. And also, I just want to show you very quick different web pages that are going to be useful for you. For example, here you can take a look to the funding and tender opportunities, where you can see all the call for proposals where Japan can participate. In this case, you can see different examples of the oldest program, Horizon 2020, but I'm sure that there will be new call for proposals, okay? And finally, a quite interesting program, KISS International Urban Cooperation Program, where there's different cities and regions of Japan that can participate in this program of cooperation, regional and urban cooperation. Quite interesting. And for example, here you can see the different cooperation programs established between cities in Europe and cities in Japan. For example, San Sebastian in Spain is linked with Hirosaki. There is Kobe, there's Nagano, there is Toyota, there are Yokohama, different cities that are linked with European Union cities just for cooperation. So please do not hesitate to contact us in case you have any doubts, in case you want to participate in one of these interesting programs that cover a lot of aspects. Thank you very much, and arigato. Juanma, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Viesca. As you can see, there is a lot of programs and a lot of funding. I wouldn't say it's really easy, but what we can say is that also Japanese companies can establish into the European Union to have and to promote these companies and these possibilities. I see there is a question of Mr. Jan Aznar. Please, Mr. Aznar, you have the floor. We reconnect with Amber. Very silent.
Sorry, Juan, I didn't understood. Do I need to present something or do you hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
we listen to you. If there is relationship with European Union, Japan, yes. Okay.
No, I don't have anything to say. No, I was listening. Sorry, I was listening.
Okay. Thank you.
No, the only relationship that we have.
We are at the end of the webinar. I don't know if from the audience are any questions or remarks. You have the chat or you can just say you want to talk. But what I would like is some conclusions from my part, and then we will, at the end, we will connect with Mr. Ayato, who will do the closing minutes as someone from Japan with a lot of talent that has been studying in Pamplona, Spain, after he has participated in a EU funding program, as I have explained, Youth Guarantee, and he's now working and helping Finnova to create that network with Japanese entities. But before that, some comments and remarks from Finnova Foundation. First, we are a very small foundation, but we want to cooperate, as you have seen, with different entities in that common interest of cooperating in the field of innovation. Innovation for what? Innovation in any kind, in any subject, but especially everything linked to climate change, water management, renewable energy, Industry 4.0, sustainable mobility, smart cities, innovation in agri-tech sector, and of course, what we want is to strengthen our cooperation in the field of startups and entrepreneurship. Not only that, academia, technological institutes are a key issue. And Chamber of Commerce, we have had the Chamber of Commerce Hispano-Japonesa that can help a lot in identifying the right partners and offering some services for approaching entities. We have the first legal umbrella is that both EPA agreements, the strategic partner agreement and the economic partner agreement. We have, as you have seen, there are several and different services from the European Union and from the Japanese side to cooperate. For example, we have no time enough, but I would like to highlight also that intellectual property right help desk, the Japan intellectual property rights. And as you have seen, Enterprise Europe Network offer the possibility of networking for enterprises. We have had the testimony of Euraxis for all this connection from the research and innovation, not only for the academia, but in universities or other public bodies. We have had the experience of some innovative companies from Japan. We have the delegation of Japan into the European Union. We have everything. We have the bodies, the services, we have the legal umbrella, and we are in the right momentum, starting that new financial period from the European Union perspective, 2021, 2027, and also we are in the right momentum after because apparently this COVID-19 pandemic will allow to us to start traveling and to start promoting this new business. We have from now 10 years, because even if the financial period is up to 2027, we have the rule N+3 from the European Commission that allows to execute later. I would like to finish because we have some time available. Very briefly, I'm going to explain a project that we are very proud and that we think we are working now. And if someone from the audience can contribute or wants to work, we will lead. As I have mentioned before, we are involved in the LIFE call from the European Commission. Of course, LIFE is for pilot demonstrative projects in Europe, not in Japan. But why not some Japanese technologies or ideas or innovation these companies could establish in Europe to have a subsidiary? Then it will be a European company with Japanese talent. Why not to work in a multidisciplinary consortium? I was explaining we are preparing a LIFE called Ecodigestio. It will be the third generation of LIFE. Today, we have an ongoing project called LIFE Ecodigestio. Second, the leader is a very good innovative company in the field of water management called Global Omni. We have a Portuguese partner, Aguas del Centro Litoral. Is a public company in water management. And Finova Foundation in Belgium is one of the partners. But the project is very simple. It's to analyze infrastructure that is not optimized. We are talking of the digesters that are in the different depuration water treatment plants. We are talking of 18,000 depuration water treatment plants in Europe. Depuration water treatment plants separates the dirty water, and we have the solid waste. Normally, 90% is human waste. Okay, from that digester we obtain methanol, biogas, and then we are helping to preserve the ozone. Today is the International Day of Preserving Ozone. We are creating a new green gas. What is quite interesting in this European Week of Renewable Energy, we are in the European Week of Energy. This event is in the website of the DG Energy. And did you know, just some figures, 0.9% of the energy consumed in Europe is because of the depuration water treatment plants. It means anything we do, producing gas and reducing that bill helps, especially nowadays that we have an important issue with the price of energy, especially in Spain and in Europe. Well, now we are identifying, we are looking for, we are scouting new technologies that could help to do better this ecodigestion project. The solution, the pilot project we are doing in Quart de Poblet, in the municipality of Quart de Poblet in the region of Valencia, is that pig slurry and also organic waste from Oreca sector is going to the same digester. producing biogas. And it helps and it shows to us some solution in that challenge of Europe 2030 and from the directive, European directive landfill, because in Europe it's forbidden to create new landfills. That means we have a problem. We cannot anymore to throw everything to the landfill. Then a way is to use that infrastructure that we have. The average of optimization of a depuration water treatment plant of the digester is around 30%. Then we have the possibility of putting that organic waste to produce better energy. And you know what? After the process, what we have is potential. We have organic, bioorganic fertilizer for the organic agriculture. Okay, it's very easy. We have not to complicate creating new infrastructure that we don't have. We have that infrastructure. Then anyone that is working in the field of metano, biogas, we are more than open to receive your solution from Japan, from the European Union, to try to innovate again to submit a new ecodigestion project. And now we are going to connect with Ayato. Before that, we will not have translation because I'm going to ask Ayato to do the final words in Japanese. And in the meantime, I would like to thank all the speakers for your effort and your time for being with us. To our Japanese speakers, I would like to say arigato, arigato. And for all the speakers, thank you very much. For the technical team from Finnova that has allowed to this webinar, because as you can imagine, there is a lot of time behind the camera and the weeks before, identifying the dates, the speakers, and all the informatic part. I want to thank Lola, Natalia, Eduardo, Daniel, Álvaro, Javier, María José, Belinda, of course, Mr. Alberto, Mr. Viesca, and especially thanks, I would like to say arigato to Mr. Ayato, who will have the floor. From Vigo in Galicia, I say thank you very much, all of you, and let's be in contact. And very soon, we will inform all of you about the Japan Startup Europe Awards. That is an open innovation methodology from the European Commission, DG Connect, that tries to identify startups to work together to innovate with other countries. If we have done that before pandemic in Chile, in the sector smart cities, or if we have done that also in Mexico, in the field of agri-tech food, why not to do in Japan? If any, we will contact in the following weeks to the different institutions in Japan to try to organize the Japan Startup Europe Awards. Thank you very much. We connect with Mr. Ayato. Ayato, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Juan Manuel. And thank you.
We don't see you. Can you connect your camera?
Hello, can you hear me? Can you see me? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Juan Manuel, and also all the speakers today. And I'd like to, since yes, Juan Manuel told me that I will be speaking in Japanese, so I will say thank you to everyone for participating in this event. Yes, so I will be speaking in Japanese what I have been doing and what I have done. 僕はスペインのナバーラ大学というところで修士を行って、その後今ブリュッセルにあるこのフィンノバ財団で働いていますが、ピセというスペインの地方自治体からもらっている奨学金になりまして、もともとはEU から発行されている奨学金を使って今インターンシップという形でこのフィンノバ財団で働いております。ブリュッセルはこの EU といいますかヨーロッパの中心地でもありますので、比較的国際的な環境を簡単に手に入り、より身近なところで経験できるので、とてもいい経験ができております。で、あまり多分日本では知られていないんですけども、その日本の大学生であったり、これからヨーロッパに行きたいと思っている人も、実はその奨学金っていうのは日本が用意しているものだけではなくて、今日そのゲストスピーカーの方たちが紹介していただいたようないろいろなプログラムであったり、奨学金プログラムがあるので、こちらを利用することができるけど、まだ知らないという方たちが多いと思うので、これをどんどんみんなに知っていってもらえたらなと思います。今日はありがとうございました。これでイベントを終わりたいと思います。Thank you for everyone. This is the end of the event. Yes, thank you. If you need any words, Juanma.
Thank you very much. I would like to say, because you have explained to me, arigato and gozaimasu. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
Ideas. There are ideas that change the way we work.
In other centuries, they would have called it magic.
Ideas that got us connected.
Well, hold the line a minute.
That made us communicate better with each other. Ideas that got smarter and smarter and smarter. They're the ones that caused revolutions.
Goodbye, David.
And others that seem like a thing of the past now. There are the ones that are obsolete and ideas that promised us freedom, but in the end delivered us nothing but stress, that we tried to compensate with funny ideas. We thought of something different. A simple idea that turns idle workspace into places where you connect with companies, where you share knowledge with other creative minds or digital nomads. Where you are is where you work. You spend fewer hours on the road and you gain precious time for a better work-life balance. It's called Work Hero. Is it a game changer?
I beg your pardon?
We like to think so, but we'll let you be the judge of that. Check out Work Hero on workhero.com. Work Hero, connecting space and knowledge.
delighted, and I hope we'll be able to do it again, and also that the solutions which were showcased here can maybe inspire real-life solutions in the future.
Es un honor que hayan contado con nosotros como aceleradora, con nuestro programa Startup Europe Accelerator, en el primer hackathon con el director general de innovación de la Comisión Europea para soluciones en el campo de cambio climático y reducción de emisiones.
I also congratulate Finova, which was part of the winning team, a team which worked on a really interesting solution to make construction at long last sustainable. Well done. Thank you very much.
España y Portugal están entre los estados de la Unión Europea más vulnerables al cambio climático. En los últimos 30 años, ambos países han sido escenario de incendios forestales cada vez más devastadores. Ahora, los dos estados se disponen a hacer frente a estos retos con un nuevo proyecto de cooperación transfronteriza, impulsado por el programa Interreg de cooperación transfronteriza entre España y Portugal. FIREPOCTEP, fortalecimiento de los sistemas transfronterizos de prevención y extinción de incendios forestales y mejora de los recursos para la generación de empleo rural post-COVID-19. El proyecto, presupuesto total, 5,6 millones de euros, cofinanciado 75% con fondos FEDER. Objetivos: identificar las zonas estratégicas de gestión para minimizar el riesgo e impacto de los grandes incendios a través de una gestión integral del paisaje frente al cambio climático global. Fomentar la inversión pública y privada mediante experiencias piloto en el marco de la economía verde circular y la investigación de nuevas oportunidades de mercado. Educar a la población fija y ocasional sobre el riesgo de los grandes incendios forestales, las buenas prácticas preventivas y la autoprotección. Capacitar y equipar al personal de los operativos transfronterizos. Proyecto que beneficiará a toda la raya, la frontera más larga y antigua de la Unión Europea. Integrado por 21 socios participantes entre instituciones, organismos y entidades de ambos países. Duración 30 meses. Finaliza el 31 de diciembre de 2022.
La Fundación Finnova, con el proyecto Circoax, busca empresas y autónomos innovadores para promover la economía circular en el mundo textil y de la moda.